If you have a John Deere 6620 or even a 7720, 8820, even if it's not the Titan 2, but just the regular turbo edition, you're going to want to be sure to not only like this video, but subscribe to this channel. We've got a ton of tips, tricks, how-tos, and even some operation videos of these old machines. There's not too many of them still around, but the ones that are here are absolute beasts, and we love running them. Especially here at Family Tradition Farms, these are a staple to getting our crops out of the field. Morning, everybody. It's Matt with Family Tradition Farms. We've done a ton of work to the John Deere 6620 combine back behind me in order to get ready for fall harvest 2025. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video. We've already done the work. I just want to show you guys what we had to do, give you a little brief rundown of how to do it. That way, if you've got a 6620, 7720, 8820, any of the Titan 2 series, or heck, even any of the Turbo series, this video may help you. So as you can see, we do have it opened up quite a bit. We're actually going to start on the head. So this is a John Deere 220 head. It is new to us, 220. It's a 200 series, 20 foot. New to us, we had to do quite a bit of work to it. Not quite a bit of work. We had to do a little bit of work to it. Obviously, you always have to go through and replace a few sections, couple guards here and there. All in all, it's in pretty good shape though. The big thing we had to do was on the drum fingers, they were loose. So these guys here, these metal plates, they have a bushing inside of them. And that bushing keeps these fingers tight. A couple of them were wallered out and they were just flopping all around, banging around. So we went through, took all these out, just a couple T40 Torx bits, pop these screws out, take those off, throw them in the scrap, put new bushings, put new plates on them. So we did that this morning. Obviously, we also went through and replaced our sections and the guards, greased everything, checked the oil on the gearbox. I will show you this head has the Dial-A-Matic header height control. That's new to us, so we had a guy come and help set us. This is what they call the black box. That's what actually reads the header height and how close, how far it is to the ground. Now, our combine works halfway. It knows to push the head down, but the solenoid coil to raise it back up is bad. And those are like 300 bucks. So we're just going to raise it up ourselves. But essentially how this works is there's a little sensor up underneath the cab, and you won't be able to see it from here, that when the feeder house lowers down, it hits a certain point, and then it continues onto the ground by itself until the sensor feels the ground and it sets it where it wants. Up in the cab, we've got a switch to determine how low we want to go. Middle gets us to 2. If we want to go lower, we can go 1 or 0 also. So that's a brief rundown on the 220 head. Really, we didn't have to do much to it. Hopefully, we can just take it straight to the field. Did notice a few things, like we've got a leaky hose right here. We're just going to run that. If it gets too bad, obviously, I'll build a new one. They're not too bad to route. They're pretty small. So that's the 220 head. She's ready to go. Let's step back here, get a good picture of it. It is early in the morning, guys. It's about 7 o'clock. I've been working down here since about 4 a.m. So there's some funky shadows you'll probably see. Now, to the combine itself. We had a couple major issues from last fall. The first one being is the separator drive belt. We burned it off. And what I mean by the separator drive belt, this guy, this great big 3-rib belt runs here, goes up underneath the cab, obviously goes across some idler tensioner pulleys also. So this shield right here goes around that pulley. That was not tight enough against the pulley. So there's an adjustment bolt down there. It was slid back, and when we disengaged our separator, this belt, because it got loose, was able to jump over on the pulley. When it jumped over and we re-engaged the belt, we smoked it. So had a guy come out. He actually replaced this because it takes a special tool to release the hydraulic pump, which again you can't see, but it's right in there. You actually have to access that through the floorboard of the cab. I'll show you guys, but I'm not going to open it up because it's a pain. So he got the new belt put on, got the shield tight. For anybody that has one of these combines, check your clearance on these shields. Obviously, we're bent a little bit here, but you want it a little bit wider down here, about fingernail width, and up top we are almost pretty close. So when you disengage the belt, down here is what's going to loosen up. Up top is still going to keep it within the pulley where it needs to be. That was the big one. We also went ahead and replaced the unload drive belts while we were in there, because if you're going in that far, you might as well do it. We did have, let me open this. Here is the header height control box. So as you can see, there's a coil on the left there, and there's another one on the right that's still green. The one on the left's been replaced. That one works. The one on the right has not been replaced. That's the one that does not work. So yeah, again, we're probably just not going to mess with it. We've got some oil leaks here. Not going to mess with it. We'll just top up with oil every once in a while. Let's get up into the cab. Before we actually get into the cab, we're going to talk about the top of the cab. So as you can see, we got the roof raised up here. This here is our, I don't really know what they call it, but air conditioner unit. The guy that I bought it from loved spray foam. So instead of fixing this and sealing it right, he just spray foamed everything, which allowed mice and all sorts of everything to get up in here. The AC did not work when I bought it. The compressor was locked up. So the last 2 years I've run it with no AC. We picked up some more acres this year, basically more than doubling our bean acres. I don't want to breathe that crap in anymore. So we got this guy fixed. The guy that was out here did go ahead and put a compressor on it. The used compressor, but works, charged it up. This is our coil. It got really cold, which is what we want. Essentially how this system works, there's supposed to be an air filter right here. I've got a new one in the shop. It pulls air through here up into the cavity, which you probably can't see, up into here, and it pulls it through this coil, and then through your blower motors, little squirrel cages, blows it down into the cab. Now obviously this top was not sealed at all, so it was just blowing all sorts of dust and crap inside there. So this is a John Deere green combine sealant. It's probably hard to tell, but this plate here is bent down, so I just squirted that on there. It's super tough to kind of fill that gap a little bit. We'll shave it down. I've got some sticky insulation that we'll use to reseal that plate, get it stuck back on there. And then that way air is pulling through here and actually blowing cold down into the cab. So if you have AC problems, more than likely your coil's dirty. Ours is still extremely dirty. I just need to blow it out. Haven't had the chance yet. But check your filters because they're probably plugged up. You actually access this filter from inside the cab. That's your recirculation filter. Again, we've got a new one of those. And then this is your fresh air filter. So got a new one of those. We just haven't put it in yet. It's sitting in the bar. But again, this is on top. Really all you need up here for is the air conditioner and the blower. So inside the cab, we've got a few things that we worked on. Underneath the seat, that's where you get to the separator drive belt. So this seat kind of flips forward. It kind of flips forward and then raises up. But for easeability, we went ahead and took it out, which gave us access to this plate right here. That plate slides out and you get access to all that. If you've got a hydraulic line that blows underneath the cab, belt, anything, you got to pretty well go in from right there. So just remember, if you need to go in from right there, it's easier to take the seat out than it is to flip it up. It's super easy. There's just a couple pins right back down here that you just pull them out with a cotter pin. It comes right out. It's heavy, but it comes out. I know, cab's super dirty, but we haven't cleaned it yet. As you can see, our yield monitor, we still have not put that back in yet. I did get it repaired. They sent me a new button keypad thing, so got that put back on there. Got to get our blower system all reinstalled. We weren't really sure. We had to chase some electrical wires. We weren't really sure where we were. That's why we've got it all opened up. Here's where you get access to your recirculation filter. Again, we'll pop a new one of those in so that we get some fresh air. Might actually be able to combine with no dust in the cab this year. That'll be weird. I won't know what to do when I can breathe at night. All right, so this here is our Dial-A-Matic header height control. So you got off, and then setting 1, setting 2, setting 3. For the most part, we're going to just run it in setting 2 or off when we're on the corn head. That way it keeps it pretty level as far as how we've got it set up for the head. And then I still have to control it here to raise it up. So I got to watch that gauge over there. And if it starts pushing the head down too far, I just bump it up a little bit and it'll settle itself back out. Pretty easy. Here's our real drive. We had to adjust the hydraulic hoses because this head actually came off an international combine, which is plumbed to backwards. So we had to replumb all this because the reel spun backwards when we turned it on, which obviously doesn't work. So we got that fixed. This is just your reel raise and lower. Come on out here. We did change oil already. Still got a few things we got to do service wise, but not much. So changed oil. I will say that John Deere's design of the oil filter back here is just dumb because it just dumps oil all over the place back there. Here's our new to us compressor. New compressor, new receiver dryer. Always replace those whenever you open up the system. Let's see, what else did we do? We still need to blow out the radiators. It's not terrible, but like to do it before we go to the field. Engine's pretty well good to go. Our electrical issue for the blower, or the compressor, I'm sorry, was right back here. We traced it down, found where it was not making good connection, got it replaced. As far as in the engine bay goes, that's pretty much it. We're gonna hop down there and I'm gonna show you guys what we did to the clean grain elevator. All right, feeder house chain, I forgot to mention, it was loose. So we did go through and tighten it right here. You just loosen these nuts, push this guy forward. Now, the way we know it needed to tighten, which I can't do it because it heads up, you open up this top cover and you basically just pull up on the chain on each side. You want that chain to just be barely sitting above the panel. If it's resting on it, it's too loose. So if you can just barely lift it up, and again, you just push this guy forward. So you loosen these nuts, force that rod forward, and that forces the drum forward, which tightens the feeder house chain. While we were doing that, obviously we went ahead and set it for beans because we're going to do beans first. So you just roll this little bolt, loosen that nut. This bolt is slotted. So you roll it so that there's a plate inside there. It's an eccentric plate, so it rolls down, and then that allows the drum to sit down lower. Again, while we're doing that, we went ahead and moved our chain over to our big sprocket. That causes the feeder house to run faster. Running beans, we want to get those beans pulled into the combine, get them thrashed through. So we went ahead and you can run it in the slow range for beans, but we like it in fast for corn. Obviously, we've got our side shield open. The reason we did that was our clean grain elevator chain. It was loose as a goose. I was really thinking I was going to have to replace it. And it does have quite a bit of wear on it. I'm not going to say it doesn't by any means, but we don't have the funds for that this year. So we were hoping we could just tighten it, and we were. So if you need to tighten your clean grain elevator chain, it's over here on the back side. There's this great big long bolt. You're going to loosen that top nut, and you're going to turn this bottom nut. And that's going to pull the rod down, which sounds kind of backwards. But up here at the top, I'll show you, that rod runs up the back, and it runs here, which actually is connected up right there is the top sprocket on the feeder house chain. So this piece here is getting pulled down, which is putting more tension on the feeder house chain. That's how that works. Belts, pulleys, all that were good. Here's our sensor for our loop electronics clean grain, or our yield monitor. That came with combine. I didn't install that. Don't ask me how to install it. I have no idea. There's other videos on YouTube to do that. Other big issue we had from last year that I recognized was I was losing cylinder speed. So I'd set it at, say, 3,500, go 20, 30 minutes, and I'd be down to 3,000. Found the problem on that is this cylinder. So this cylinder here pushes this pulley in and out. This is two shivs that pushes it in and out, which speeds up this belt, which speeds up your cylinder. This is bypassing. Now, we're not sure if it's bypassing out of this little swivel, because this hose where it mounts here, that's on a swivel. There's a couple O-rings inside there. We replaced those last year, but it could be that actual piece itself is bad. If it is, that's not a big deal. Take 3 bolts off, pop that out, put a new one in. The bigger problem is the piston itself. So you take these 6 outside bolts off, this whole piston comes out, and there's a seal inside there. We went ahead and replaced that seal. It's just like any cylinder rebuild cylinder seal. We replaced that seal, but there's a little pitting on the cylinder. So hopefully that seal is enough to get us through, because the whole cylinder is obsolete and to find a used one, you're looking at $800 or $900. So if you are losing cylinder speed, you're leaking oil out of here, definitely just pop that guy open, check your cylinder. The seal is $20 at John Deere. So just get you a new seal, slap that in there. Shoot, I'll replace that seal every year if it means I don't have to spend $800 on a new cylinder. The thing we had to do last year, which I don't know if I showed you guys or not, I don't remember. We had to replace this Tach drive. Remember, on the 20 series combines, you have to twist the belt. It's silly, but you got to twist that little O-ring so that it drives the correct way on the Tach up in the cab. Other than that, this side, good to go. We got to blow out that radiator, but said it's not too dirty. We did find one major problem that I'm pretty well just going to pull the ostrich method and stick my head in the sand and hope the problem doesn't appear. But it has to do with this tire. And it has to do specifically with that. Right there. Yep, that's bad. That's real bad. These are a special size tire. They are a 16.9-26 rice and cane tire. So nobody's got them in stock. I called my local tire guy, actually called a couple local tire guys. They said they can order that size tire, but it won't be a rice and cane tire. Here's the problem with that. Rice and cane tires, great big lugs. So your tire size would be the same, but your actual outside lug, where it rides on the ground, would be different than the other side. So if we step to the back here and we look, basically our left side would sit higher than our right side on a new tire because the lugs are not as deep, which pretty well forces our hand to have to buy 2. I'm looking for a used set. If anybody knows where a used set is, a good used set, I don't want to go down this road again, let me know. Don't care about brand, don't care about tread, just as long as they're in good shape. Let me know for sure. Drop a comment down below, because I'm interested. Located in southern Indiana if you got any. Otherwise, the local tire shop, it's going to be several grand for him to come out, pop these tires off, and put some new ones on. We're really trying to avoid that. I don't want to go down that road. If I have to, I have to, but we're trying to avoid it. So, tire. Hopefully we don't have a video on you later this season, but if we do, I guess it's good content for you guys. All right, so in here, we still need to adjust our chaffer and sieve yet. We're set for corn from last year. It's not too terribly different for beans than it is for corn, but it is a little bit different. So we need to adjust those yet. We got our chopper knife bank shoved in because running the straw chopper, shove that in right here. We want to chop those bean stalks as much as we can. Super easy. Just a nut, loosen it, shove it in. Same thing when we switch corn, we'll loosen that, grab these handles, pull it back out. The chopper knives are by no means new, but yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They've already been flipped, so if we get to that point, we will have to replace them, but we're probably not going to get to that point. We did notice that this bearing here is making a little bit of noise. I'm not going to replace it, but I know that I have them in stock at work, so if I need them, I got them. Now it's really easy to replace. You take this outside shield off. There's a set screw, 2 set screws that hold this pulley on. That pulley pops off. Then you can get to your lock collar, your bearing, your flange, pull that off, put a new one on. You're good to go. But that bearing's pretty expensive, so we're gonna get as much life out of it as we can. If it starts making more noise, obviously we'll change it. We still have our leaky 4-wheel drive motor on the left side. I think we've narrowed it down to the seal that's on this outside piece. So picture this wheel off here, this inside ring, that will come out, and there's a seal inside there, basically a big O-ring. Pretty sure we've got it narrowed down to that, but you got to take the tire off to do that. So I'm kind of just waiting until if we have to take these tires off to get new tires, I guess I'll just replace that then. Don't really want to go into it. We don't use 4-wheel drive. We're dry. We're pretty flat. We don't need the 4-wheel drive, at least not here in southern Indiana. Our tailings, we don't really run much tailings through here. The chain is loose, but the way I have this machine set, I don't like to run tailings. If I'm running a lot of tailings, it means I've got something set improperly. So let me show you how we set it. The number one thing that I do that a lot of people think probably not accurate, we run our fan as fast as possible. No matter what we're harvesting, as fast as possible. And then from there, we adjust our chaffer, our sieve, cylinder speed, concave settings. But our fan goes as fast as possible. The reason for that is in the back here, we want all of that material to float backwards away from the fan. We want it to kind of float back until it gets, I'm going to say, a quarter of the way back on the top chaffer, and then it can start filtering down through. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of material going into your cleaning fan, and we've seen machines get completely wiped out because of that. Obviously, still got to put plate back on. We keep that off until we go to the field because, you know, if it rains on it. Guys, that's been pretty much about it. We've had to do it, like I said, a ton of work to it. It's still a great old machine. Is it going to go harvest thousands of acres? No. Is it going to harvest thousands of acres in 3 or 4 years' time? No. It is what it is. We run about a 100-acre farm, not going to get much bigger than 100 or 200 acres. This machine is going to be fantastic for us for what we have. Now, there's some things that we're watching, obviously, the hydraulic leaks, the bearings, the tires, but as of right now, I'm going to say we're good to go to the field. We've got our head hooked up. We have to adjust our cylinder speed and our fan speed, our concave settings for beans, because right now we're set to corn. But that doesn't take any time at all. That's just a matter of getting in the cab, running it, throwing a couple levers. So yeah, guys, 6620 Titan 2. She's been a good old girl. It's funny, I know the owner history of this combine, so that's interesting to know who owned it before, actually who they bought it from, and then who they bought it from. So that's pretty cool to know where these machines come from and who ran them, and it's fun to talk to those older customers that they're running much newer machines now and say, yeah, I've got your old 6620. Oh, I remember this and that, and it's some cool old stories. So guys, this is not going to be the end of the 6620 Titan 2 here at Family Tradition Farms. This combine's here to stay. Unless something major, knock on wood, happens, she's not going anywhere. Now, if you yourselves you guys watching this video right now have a John Deere 100 series, as in a 3300 to a 6600, um, or a 6620, 4420 for that matter, up to an 8820, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a ton more content on these combines, whether it be educational on how to repair something, or things to watch out for, or settings that work better than one another for certain crops, or just operating them. We're going to get some super cool footage this fall. We've got a guy coming out. He's going to do a lot of videoing from outside of the cab. That way you guys can see this machine actually in operation. I know she's not the most pretty machine. She's sun faded, she's dirty, but mechanically, she's sound. She does the job. We love running it. It's a super fun time. And anyways, guys, I appreciate you listening to this video. If you made it this far, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because if you made it this far, you're obviously into this machine. You like these combines, you like these old heads, and you want to see more about them. So like the machine. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to our video last year from a couple harvest videos. That way you guys can see this little girl in action before we get to the field this year. We're still probably a few weeks out from getting into the soybean field and then getting into cornfield after that. All right, that's going to about do it for today. If you like this style of video, drop a comment down below. As far as me walking around the machine telling you what we did, our hands were too dirty when we were actually doing the project to be able to film what we were doing, but I can certainly tell you about it after the fact. So if you have one of these old machines and you like these styles of videos, again, comment down below. I'll be more than happy to make some more videos like this for you guys. If not, go ahead and remember, like that video, and we'll catch you guys out in the field next time with this old John Deere 6620 Titan 2. Appreciate you hanging out with me, guys. Thanks, and y'all have a good one.